One. What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We're back in the boxing club. We haven't met much. This might be the second time all year we've actually sat down and got to talk some good boxing. But it's heating up. We got some big fights on the way. But boy, we waited for Usyk versus Fury, which was a banger, and then here we are now, like a month later. Now we got the Benavidez Morrell fight, which if you had asked us 2 years ago, those are the fights we've been waiting to see. So like 2025 starting off with a bang. We got Stephen Fulton versus Figueroa rematch, Pitbull Cruz versus Fierro, and then Jesus Ramos, Jason Rosario. Before we jump into that, go down, like and subscribe, comment who y'all got in this breakdown. I'm Paul Pickle-Winham, and I'm joined with.
What's going on, boys? It's your man Marcus Primetime Penley. You know, we back with it.
Your boy South Southern Boxing here for a three-peat. Let's get it.
And so this card, I actually been waiting for this card, but it my only one. I felt like it kind of crept up on me because I wasn't even like thinking about this fight. And the next thing you know, I see like on Twitter like, don't miss this weekend, Benavidez Morrell, and I was like, oh fuck, like this is like most stacked card of the year. I was like, man, that card's this weekend.
Not me too. I forgot it was this weekend too. You know, so I thought it was in the middle of February. I thought it was like Super Bowl weekend, but I was like, oh wow, it's already here. You know,
I've been waiting for the fight in general because it's been kind of dead in the boxing game. But once like the fight week came around, I was like, damn, that shit kind of did come fast.
I'm waiting for this for fall 2022. Finally 2025, I'm getting it. I'm waiting for this since October 2022 when Benavidez started ducking him. So,
damn, ducking him?
Finally, there's no running.
Stop it. I'm happy I just bounced back in to hear this blasphemy off the screen.
And I understand where y'all coming from, but it's just like, it's going to be really sad when the boxing world realizes that Benavidez is never going to get a Canelo fight because there's not going to be a reason to fight someone who loses to a guy with less than 20 fights. Canelo.
What are you talking about? That's the Canelo recipe. You lose a couple of fights, then Canelo starts looking at you.
Hey. We're talking about this.
Yeah, I know. We are talking about Morrell though, because you know it's like I don't see Canelo fighting either of those guys. You know what I mean?
So I saw a clip of Paulie Magnoli. How would the fuck you say that boy's last name? But I saw a clip of him. And he was on. No, but this is one of the few times I actually agreed with him, and he was saying how it's so like this is why boxing is ass backwards, because if you were to ask somebody who's the best fighters of the one like super middleweights, they would say Benavidez and Morrell, but who has all the money behind them? It's Canelo, and they're not. So like for these two to take this fight is like some old school boxing shit, because they ain't probably making. I mean, they getting paid a good payday. Don't get me wrong, but they're not getting the Canelo payday type of fight.
They're not even getting paid the world title payday.
Yeah, so like this is so like. It's still a big fight for fans. Like this is the shit that like real fans been waiting for. Like, oh, these two guys, like we don't need the big money, the big theaters. We just need to see two guys that kind of genuinely don't like each other from what it seems like. Just duke it out and see who's the top dog. And no one's even, of course, whoever wins should fight Canelo. But I feel like no one even. We're so far gone past that now.
I think whoever wins should fight the winner at 175.
Turk said, I think Turk or someone said that is the case. It's whoever wins this fight is the immediate fight for Turviev or Bivol.
Yeah, I think.
That's beautiful.
I think that's more realistic than the Canelo route. Honestly,
it's way more realistic. It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's gorgeous.
That would set up some.
And Benavidez, I'm not gonna say he'll be able to fight Bivol, but he scarred Bivol. He knows his moves. He was predicting how that Canelo fight was gonna go, and I was agreeing with him. So he knows.
That'll be a fun fight, Bivol versus Benavidez.
When you have a guy like Canelo holding up the division, I like seeing that these two guys said, "Fuck it, we'll just move up, just fucking get some gold."
Yeah, just gotta move on.
I don't even think this fight for a belt. Just get straight contender.
This one,
yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, these are for like the regular belts or whatever, the
exactly
placeholder belts.
Just continue with going. That's some real shit, dog. You can't even. That's some shit.
And I was watching the like build up on the PBC YouTube channel and two little 10-minute episodes. I didn't know PBC did episodes, but they're like 11 minutes, so they quick and there are only two of them. It was like a nice little. It showed you some parts of the camp and.
But they still do that?
Yeah, they did not like each other, bro. Like Benavidez is like, bro, all they do is like talk shit, fucking this and that. I've been wanting to take this fight just so I can have them shut the fuck up finally. And then the Morrell camp is like, oh, they disrespected me. No one ever disrespects me. Like this is now like personal. Like fuck him. And then like Benavidez even said, fuck Morrell's camp, fuck his dog, fuck his cat. But I was like, damn. Like Benavidez was snapping, Morrell was snapping. And then like the trainers started talking. But both trainers is funny because like, you hear them say like all this shit like Benavidez is ass, fucking. Then the trainers get in, they're like, well, Benavidez is a really good fighter. Like he no props to him, like because like you don't see a lot of great fighters fight other great fighters, so like props to them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. At least they can recognize they're two dogs. They hate each other because Morrell's been calling for it and hunting him like for years and just talking a lot of doing what he can, verbally to get the fight. You know what I'm saying? It's been very disrespectful, but they both realize they're both great fighters, great champs. They're the best in the ring, but they hate each other.
And fucking the other thing is they're both they. I don't care how big of a fan you are of either of the guy. Benavidez is my guy, but both of them had kind of poor performances at their debut at 175. So like this is a good fight to like. Benavidez, I said, he had like hand injuries going into the fight. Still took the fight. He had a cut over his eye before the fight started, and still took the fight. Didn't come out. Morrell, I don't know. Something happened with Morrell that he couldn't be able to move like he normally moves. So like they're coming off of that, and just as a boxer, I feel like they want to put a better performance out. So we're going to see two guys that know that they kind of shit the bed last fight. And only want to put their best.
Especially if it's a number one contender for the winner of Bivol.
Especially when everyone's saying like there's no real belts on the line, but everybody and their mama is saying like this is the fight that's going to show who's the best of like 168 and then now
like
175. Yeah, like who's getting the 175 title shot because they already are clear cut above the competition of what's left.
Yeah, they showed it with the tape.
Let me see. I want to see what the line is. Who do y'all think is the favorite? It's very small, but who do you think?
Probably Benavidez because of name value.
Yeah, I'd probably say Benavidez.
Slight favorite, minus 155. Morrell's plus 125. And the over under is set at 10.5 rounds. So this is also Morrell's first fight. I think at going 12 rounds. Is it his first 12-round fight?
Damn, is it?
No. He had a 12-round fight before. His last fight was 12 rounds. When he's light heavyweight because it's for like a regular belt or some shit. But no. Enough. What is it? Teasing. Let's talk the fight.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say this is. What I was thinking. This is the perfect fight for them, like get that ring rest off because both the last performances were awful.
Yeah, and especially because. Doesn't Bivol and Beterbiev fight in like a month or whatever?
Yeah. They fight next week, I think.
Next week, yeah. So it sets up perfectly. Knock the ring rust out, and then September, October time, we'll see the fucking the undisputed fight type shit.
That would be awesome. I would need that.
Unless we get a draw. Unless we get the fucking
or like some robbery bullshit.
I'm just rematch talks this fight.
So. I kind of want to hear, I would say, how do y'all feel this fight's going to go? Is it going 12 rounds? Is it going to be a one-sided beatdown? Is it because I feel like there's a lot of people 50-50. I don't know who to pick to go either way. And there's other people that are like, Morrell's going to school him, Morrell's too wet behind the ears. Fucking Benavidez that got the experience is going to like cook him. How are y'all gauging this fight as y'all look at it?
Well, I do think it's going to go out 12 rounds. I think Benavidez is really good with speedy combinations, but Morrell also has speedy combinations, but he's stronger with the power behind it, his punches. What do you think, Marcus?
Honestly, I think it could go multiple ways for like I feel like David could really capitalize on like counter punching and really catching Morrell in like the exchange. Because like when Morrell be throwing, sometimes he leaves his hands like down, or like he'll leave his shit open. He'll drop a hand. So like I feel like with a left hook or whatever, I feel like David could capitalize on some counter. But I mean, I don't know, man. That shit's gonna be interesting. I don't. I wonder who's gonna really take charge. Like, is David gonna keep it? The pressure, is he gonna be able to keep applying that pressure? Is Morrell gonna be able to box and maybe move and get off his power shots? But
That
are we giving predictions yet, or are we holding
not
off?
yet, not yet. Still teasing
All
it.
right.
There's a little.
Yeah. I mean, and then for like Morrell, I feel like he could also get off when like I feel like he could be able to push back David. Like sometimes when David throw the high guard and kind of back up a little bit, I feel like Morrell could maybe push him back with using his power shots, but he's gonna have to keep his hands up, bro. 'Cause I feel like if there's moments where he's dropping his hands a little bit, David got fast hands, man. He's gonna be able to throw off a quick little combo. You know what I'm saying? But
I want to see who wins the pressure off. Like you're saying, they're both pressure fighters. They both are gonna like walk down their opponents. Is the one that
I wonder who's gonna like
pace.
control the middle.
Yeah, who's gonna control the middle? I think is gonna be like key to victory, but also just like who got the bigger dick between those fucking ropes is basically that fucking that when those two, because they're gonna face off through all, they've been rah this and that, but the first couple of rounds I really want to see who's slinging it more than the other, who is like, hey, you're my bitch, I'm the one that's gonna be doing the walking forward here. Like
also, I do see David attacking the body a lot, and I feel like that could be a big factor if he's able to lower the body, jabs to the body, straight rights to the body.
I want to see
hooks,
Morrell.
hooks
Everyone hypes up Morrell and his IQ and footwork. I've seen the footwork. I've seen him move like he's a lighter man. I've seen him be like the good bounce on his feet. But the IQ in his last fight was not there. He didn't set up shit with a jab. I just keep thinking back to his debut at 175, and there was people were arguing other guy won because he just kept jabbing, just kept jabbing, and then like Morrell would try to just land some overhand shit, some heavy shots that were never set up, never in a good time, never landed really clean any of his punches, and it was just kind of like this is the David Morrell that like people keep saying is gonna have this insane, like he's this way better crisp boxer. I just felt like why, like I don't know, throw more setup shots. I know you're not the volume puncher, but you're gonna need more than just overhand fucking hooks and fucking big uppercuts. Like you gotta use your jab. So I want to see if Morrell does more, because people were saying, oh, when you fight smaller guys, because he's also a big motherfucker. He fights smaller guys, you can knock them out. You don't have to go deep in your bag. I gotta see if you actually got a bag that these people keep talking about.
Yeah, I think like they had the. I'm glad they had those first two fights. You know, I'd hate for them to look full in this fight. I think they both gotta look explosive and come out, and someone has to set the tone for the fight's gonna go.
We can start with our official predictions and everything on this fight. How do you feel it's gonna go? How do you feel like it's gonna go? Who do you got in the fight, and kind of how you got
him? I'm gonna go Morrell by decision. You know what I'm saying? I think once Morrell picks him up, figures him out, gasses Benavidez out of the body shot, he'll take it over.
I think the first couple rounds are going to be interesting, bro. I want to see who's really going to be the dominating. Is David going to be able to apply that pressure, that constant pressure? How is Morrell going to react to it? Is he going to be able to keep moving, spinning David or whatever? And who's going to win in the exchanges and fucking the inside pocket? But I'm leaning David. I don't see a knockout, though. I feel like it's going to go more decision. I mean, a lot of people are calling for a knockout, though. I do see a lot of people saying
I see
knockout.
a lot of people saying, like, Morrell in 9. Fucking
Benavidez. I can't see Morrell taking down David. I don't. Because I don't know. I feel like David's going to win the like.
Does a body hit the canvas once? Does someone get dropped in this fight?
I don't know.
I could see Morrell going down, but I don't see him like getting like knocked out type shit. I don't know, cause I could see him getting countered, bro. Like throwing some looping shots, and Benavidez just catches him with some shots, and maybe he goes down, or even with a body shot. I could see Benavidez really attacking the body, maybe dropping him, but I think maybe it goes all 12. But I'm going Benavidez, man. I think he's gonna be able to throw more punches. He's gonna win in the exchanges. And that pressure is just gonna be mean. And I feel like he wants to have a better performance than his last performance. And he's probably gonna still call out Canelo after the fight on some dog shit.
Or Bivol Petervia.
He should call out Bivol Petervia, because I feel like that would be, honestly, even though the Canelo fight would be dope, but the winner of that fight, that would be dope, bruh. Benavidez versus like whoever, Bivol or fucking AB. That shit would be tough.
And I just realized, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Morrell's the WBA regular champ from his fight debut, and Benavidez is WBC interim champ because it did. So I may be wrong. I just don't really ever see the interim and regular champs of different fighting each other, because typically those are the guys waiting for who's the current belt holder. I don't feel like I ever really see the regular interims like meshing belts. I kind of see. So the one thing I may be worried, I got Benavidez in this fight, and I got it by decision. I think this is going to be a very. I think the way I think Benavidez wins is if Morrell does try to keep the pace, we're going to both pressure each other, we're both going to keep walking forward, and I think Benavidez's volume is going to help in that key, that he's going to just get off more punches in those exchanges, and then as maybe Morrell like has some big shots early. I could see Benavidez even maybe getting dropped early on, like him just throwing too much volume and getting a big counter shot, and he hits the canvas and he has to like tighten up. But same with like when he fought Boo Boo. I know Boo Boo was a lot smaller, but Boo Boo was also I believe he's a southpaw, very technical sound, very speedy, very good bounce on his feet. But as the fight progressed, Boo Boo was winning early rounds, but as the fight progressed, he just couldn't keep the same bounce, couldn't keep the same defense, and Benavidez just wore him down. And that's how I kind of think Benavidez is going to do this fight. Early, Morrell might win a couple of the rounds, but just because I think Morrell's going to gas as the fight progresses, and Benavidez, who's used to going longer fights, been in these championship fights more often, fought higher opposition, I think he'll just have more gas towards the end of the rounds, towards the later half of the fight, I mean. But the way I think Morrell could win, and that's what I'm be watching early, is if Morrell just kind of doesn't like he just uses his Cuban unorthodox like counterpunch style, and he just doesn't. He allows Benavidez to keep walking. He's okay if I see the fight start and he's off the back foot, I'm gonna be worried, because then I think he's setting up big shots. Like he's okay with it. He's just gonna kind of let Benavidez keep walking into his big shots, use the footwork to get out of the pocket, and keep everything at a distance.
And he's known for gassing out too, so if he's able to save some energy in the early rounds.
The game plan, I think, is going to be massive for both. Like the game plan that however these guys fight is going to be massive for who wins. But I got Benavidez just because I think I see more avenues of victory if I go. And I've been backing this guy. I think since we started the podcast, one of the first things we've talked about was the Benavidez fight. And I did a deep dive on who he was and everything. I was like, oh, this is my dog. Mexican monster, fucking throwing 60-punch combos in the corner, knocking motherfuckers out. Yeah, he's been sparring since he was a fat kid at 15. I was a fat kid at 15. I fucked this story ever since. I'm riding the wave. My boy Benavidez, but Morrell is legit.
That's going to be a good one, man.
Then we got our co-main event. It's the rematch. It's at a different weight class, 126 featherweight titles on the line. Figueroa is defending his WBC featherweight title. Stephen Fulton, who has a victory over him at 122 when he went on his nice little run. The rematch in here at 126, I've seen a lot of people's takes like, oh, Figueroa has been used to this weight class. He has like 3 or 4 fights underneath him at this weight class. Fulton kind of didn't look too good in his last fight. I think it was a split decision over Carlos Castro or some Castro. It was a good fighter at featherweight, and Figueroa knocked that guy out when they fought at the same weight. So like I see a lot of people throwing that into this, throwing the experience at 126. I actually recently watched some of the fight again, and it was very close, very very close.
Beautiful. Oh man, well, that's one of the best nights of boxing history, man. That was a beautiful fight, and you know what I'm saying. And like, I think it was November 20th, 2021. That's just a special day in boxing history. You know what I'm saying? We get to see CFC get his ass look like that. But back to Brandon Figueroa, like that was one of the best fights towards the end of the year. Just all around a beautiful night of boxing. So, and he boxed his ass off. But the thing is, Fulton got super gas quick. So he just dug deep and just, you know, beat him on the inside, ducking him, bobbing and weaves.
That inside uppercut, nasty.
That the inside uppercut with the left hook. So he was piecing him up on the inside, but Brandon kept with the pressure. He was missing on the shots, so he kept with the pressure. You know what I'm saying? So at 126, where Fulton, he's a little healthier because he was draining himself at 122, and he had that little refresher fight, which I look, think he might be a little, he might be a little big for 126 now too. I don't know, because he was walking around like 150 something.
Yeah, they're both kind of big. They're both. Yeah. Figueroa had that skinny build, but he was still kind of tall for the weight class. Whereas
5'9", 122. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, he's 5'9". He's like he's taller than the Haney. He's taller than Ryan Garcia. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's big for that weight class. So I really think this might be another. You know what I'm saying? They might get tired during this. I don't say, fuck, we gotta just battle it out. Nothing Fulton. We come on with it. Oh, well, we're not gonna predict you, but you know what I mean.
Mark, how do you feel? Because I know you were a boxing fan for a while, but like, how did you watch the first fight, or do you remember when Fulton got that belt?
Oh yeah, I remember that fight. That was a crazy one, and like,
you wasn't watching boxing back then?
No, he got me into boxing.
That's crazy. You didn't watch that fight? Oh, okay. What gives you work?
Yeah, what your era started? What, like 2022?
Yeah, I started watching boxing like 2022.
That's wow. It takes a lot of sense now.
I do remember that fight, but I ain't gonna lie. At the time, I didn't know too much about Figueroa, so like I was like, man, fuck that, man. My dog Fulton won that. Fuck the robbery shit. Like I fuck with Fulton hard, bro. I fuck with bro hard, and shit. I don't know, but I think this fight is gonna be interesting though. Cause I do feel like Figueroa is like more in his like he's really fighting at his peak right now. And Fulton, I don't know if I feel like he's kind of taking maybe a step back, but not really skill-wise, but just because of that in-your-way loss. And like how you were saying his last fight, you said split decision. And then this is at a bigger weight. And how many fights has he had at 126?
This is his second fight.
That was, also, he was like, it was really hard because how the PBC system, it was really hard because he was supposed to fight in Atlanta, remember, back in September.
Oh, yeah, I do remember
that. He's going through all this mental evaluation. Yeah. You're going to fight here, but no, you're
not in camp. Like,
in camp, not in camp. The money's not looking, you know what I'm saying? It's
facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of mental
July 2023, he loses the NUA. Some people said was a broken man afterwards. Then September 14th, a year and some change later, he fights Carlos Castro. So there was he had a Ronnie Rios fight set up that got canceled. And then, so from September 14th, here we are, like, what's that, 5 months later, February.
I mean, there's a lot of variables. I mean, it's gonna be interesting, man. I think it's gonna be a dogfight though, just like the first fight. I feel like it could lead into maybe even possibly a trilogy type shit. I feel like it's gonna be like the same type of vibe where they're gonna be in the pocket. It's really who's gonna win in the inside fight. But shit,
is this the coming?
So,
is this the coming?
Yeah. This is the coming. So for me, it kind of comes down to like, because Fulton, I'm not saying he's a broken man. That was just a joke. I don't think he's broken, but he did take damage. Like those are some big punches
That
he
was a
took.
big loss too, because he was riding high, and then for him to, you know what I'm
Fall
saying?
off that mountaintop. That's a big moment to hit.
Yeah.
And it didn't even want a rematch. There was no question. It was like you gotta eat that and move on. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to 126 with my talents.
I'm going back to the States, man.
Well, so the other part I was gonna say was he also got a hefty payday, biggest payday of his career because of that fight, and like kind of like I need to see Fulton because that split decision. I remember I put a lot of money on Fulton to win, and a lot of people don't think he won because my money was on him. I thought he won, but if my money wasn't on him, I would have probably been singing a different tune. I got to see how locked in. I know he's a Philly boy. Like these Philly boys be training hard. They fucking iron sharpens iron. Hopefully, Boots is helping like hype they man up and shit. But I gotta see how locked because Figueroa moving to 126 has been a wrecking crew. Like this, his 3 fights at 126 is no like there's no like days off. Fucking knocks out Carlos Castro, then defends the belt and unifies it against Mark Maxayo, and then Jesse Magdalena. Like those are 3 good fighters in a row. Fulton's no different, and like Mark said, he's kind of at his peak right now. So it's kind of if Fulton wants this win, you're finding the best version of Figueroa, and you got to bring your best version as well.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like opposite. I feel like maybe Fulton was more of his higher
Fulton
peak.
was fucking Angelo Leo, fucking and Figueroa. Like he was a 122. Yeah. He was in his bag, right? He went on in 1 year span. He got 2 titles. He went from fighting almost nobodies to holding 2 belts and was the clear best fighter at the weight class.
Well, but he's always been fighting undefeated fighters. Like even like as a prospect, just straight undefeated other prospects. He's always been fighting higher level prospects. You know what I'm saying? He has like it was like 8 when he had like 12 fights. 10 of those were undefeated fighters. Like look at his resume. You see straight zeros on that man.
Until they ran.
I like the style match. I feel like these boys' styles just kind of they just mesh, and it's gonna be a great fight. Yeah, that's it. No matter how it plays out, that's just gonna be a great watch.
Yeah.
On to the picks.
He also got dropped in his last fight. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Fulton
I did 126.
Yeah. That's why it was a split decision because like Fulton was boxing him, but then there was a few rounds where he did get dropped, and there was a few rounds where the other guy was just.
Yeah, I don't think it was like a controversy that he won, but and I think he won comfortably. It's just he didn't look like the part.
I'm going with the guy who I feel like is still in that trenches mindset. He hasn't gotten the big payday yet. And I'm going with my boy Brandon Figueroa here. If I'm making a pick, I'm going Brandon Figueroa. And I actually think he gets it by knockout. I think Fulton just at 126. I know you said Fulton's comfortable in this weight class, but Figueroa showed me that like this is his weight class. Like 122, you wanted to have the reach, the height, and he probably was killing himself for those 4 pounds. Here he is now. He don't have to weight drain as much. He has the reach still. He's still a bigger guy, and he's got the power. And the inside, I feel like Fulton just dominated the inside. Whereas if Figueroa this time around just doesn't let him dominate the inside and lands his clean body shots too, I think Figueroa, his pressure, his power is just going to be a little too much for Fulton at 126.
Yeah, I just I think I hope Fulton can just like keep him a little distance with the jab. You know what I'm saying? So I also think Mark Marcel is a little bit better than 2021 too. So I'm still going cool boy stuff. I think he's gonna break him down, outbox him. Then on the inside work, he already beat him. You know what I'm saying? He like outboxed him and was working him on the inside. So I don't think that stuff's gonna change as much. You know what I'm saying? His power stay the same. So you know what I'm saying? Leads in on his head, so he might get a couple of point deductions with some headshots. You know what I'm saying? So that's already gonna not favor him in the first leg. So give me Fulton by unanimous.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a tough fight. My brain is telling me go with Figueroa, man, because I feel like we were saying, like he's fighting at his best right now. He feels most comfortable at 126. And I feel like he still got that salt in his mouth from the last fight where he might have felt like he should have won. A lot of people also feel like he should have won. He's still gonna remember that. He's like, all right, you coming maybe to my weight now,
My world.
Yeah, damn near, just because he has more fights there, and I don't know, man. I'm not ready to move on from Cool Boy, so I'm gonna still rock with Cool Boy Steph, where you're gonna be able to. I love his style, bro. That's really what it is. I love Cool Boy.
Yeah.
I love the way he fights, and I feel like he's gonna be able to. I feel like it's gonna be. Figueroa's gonna want to maybe not let it get in the inside and maybe get ugly, but it's gonna happen either way. I think it's bound to happen, and I think Cool Boy is gonna be able to capitalize on a lot of things, and he's gonna be able to bounce back, man. Fuck that.
Cool Boy
Yeah,
Steph
man.
is gonna be a real good
Brandon's also
day.
he's coming from a revenge. He needs to get that get back though.
He does need to. It's gonna be a tough fight though, because I feel
And also, like, this is
Figueroa's
another thing that I forgot to point out. The way Fulton handled that versus how Brandon Figueroa handled that was like vastly different. That man said, "Hey, look, I'll give you a rematch." Brandon Figueroa, no, I win that fight. Yeah, I win that fight. No, moving on.
Damn.
Man, I ain't never. Oh, you never seen that interview? That man. I like because I was always a big fan of Figueroa since early 2021. You know what I'm saying? I've been I've been talking to Figueroa, but I was just like. I've never seen like that was like Devin Haney levels of
that was like Anthony Joshua grabbing the mic.
It may have been worse. No, it was worse because he was saying, "No, I got robbed. No, I got robbed."
Was that what? Are you talking about when he was doing the interview?
Then he said, "Okay."
In the ring?
Yeah, he was like, "Okay, I'll give you a rematch." Then he says, "Nah, man, I was just waiting. Class.
Give me those belts, man."
He's like, "Nah, fuck that. I won right now."
Do you remember that post-fight interview?
Yeah, hell yeah. I thought you were talking about something else, but if you're talking about the one where it like right after the fight and they're like interviewing Cool Boy and then they start talking to each other and going back and forth.
Like Fulton was just the most class act I've ever seen. He says, "Look, I'll rematch him. I don't care." You know what I'm saying? He was just too much of a class act. Right, compared to Brandon Figueroa acting all that childish.
I will say the co-main and main event are two fights I will not be shocked if a draw gets read out. Like these are two. If it goes to the decision and it's as close as it is in my head, how I got these fights, I wouldn't be shocked if there's some draw or some shit.
If it goes to the decision,
I think both of these fights. I don't know, but both of these fights I think will be like splitting hairs when it comes down to the winner.
I'm telling you, Fulton's getting that win regardless if he wins or loses, man. We got PBC judges on our side.
That's true.
You see no last fight score.
that last fight score.
we got to, even though he won, man, we got to judge it.
So, there was one, I think one score was like 117, 113 or some crazy shit.
You want to win, make them unconscious. You win on the scorecard no matter what.
Then we got two fights that should be produced fireworks. We're going to kind of speed through these, kind of a Cliff Note version. We got Pitbull Cruz taking on Angel Fierro. Cruz was potentially going to fight Ryan Garcia when Ryan Garcia's return fight, but Pitbull Cruz has this guy, so his team didn't even want to entertain contract negotiations for that Ryan Garcia return debut. So instead, we get the Rolly versus Ryan Garcia. And here we are with Pitbull Cruz on the PBC card.
Yeah, we need a bounce back performance from Pitbull, man. He wasn't looking too hot in his last fight. I mean, he should have took the Ryan Garcia fight, and I mean, unless I feel like it could be bad if you know what I'm saying. He doesn't look too good, and he didn't get the Ryan Garcia fight. So I definitely think he needs a big performance.
Yeah, he's Pitbull Cruz, you know what I'm saying? He's been a character since the first team fight. He's been a character for at least, you know what I'm saying? So that really fight, that was insane. I was like, holy shit, the way he handled early. That was tough. Oh no, not really. I'm tripping. Yurkis Gamboa, that was on the fifth card. I was like, okay. He's looking for here to stay.
I like Pitbull.
He's kind of been ducking Ryan, like even the first time, like the very first negotiations, like early January 2022. Oh, you're not relevant enough for me. So he's just going around telling everyone he's not tank. They're not like irrelevant enough for him. Because the fans gas him up so much for that tank performance. He thinks that he's above everyone besides tank. So he's been telling like, you're irrelevant. He tried to do that to O'Reilly. He kept trying to like say O'Reilly, you're irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. All this stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's beneath him just to fight him.
I made good money on that El Rayo fight because I knew
El Rayo
the box his head off. It was like plus 400 for him by decision, and I was like, he's not gonna knock out Pitbull Cruz. It's not get crazy, but he's gonna dance on him. And I love Pitbull. He has the heart of a lion. He's just like he doesn't have all the talent, the skill, he's him. But the heart of a lion, he trains hard every fucking day. He's gonna outwork you. He's never gonna give up. He's gonna bite down on that fucking mouthpiece, take every punch you hit him with, and keep walking forward. And if he lands, you might hit the canvas. So I fuck with him so much. I don't know much about Angel Fierro. So hopefully it's just a fun firework type of
I heard of the name.
I see some of the clips on the PBC when I was watching the thing, and it looked like he's another Mexican fighter. So he looked like he got a chin, and he looked like he got some pop to him. So it should be somewhat fun. I think they know what they're doing with this matchmaking setup here. But Pitbull got a belt over Rolly Romero. All right, he knew what he was doing when he picked that champion as his opponent. We all knew who was winning that fight going. Pitbull Cruz you only can go so far with it. And beating Rolly Romero for a belt, I think, is the peak of Pitbull Cruz. And that's unfortunate to say.
That's honestly the best way to win the belt. Think about this. All I had to do was fight Rolly Romero to be a world champion and get world champion money. Then sign me up. You know what I'm saying? Pitbull, the thing about the Christmas fighting, I'm pretty sure he's a gatekeeper. It's not you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's fighting someone with a pulse.
And even later in his career, he'll probably
just lost to that Cuban guy, right?
He'll be the fun fill-in fighter because he's okay. He was willing to fight Garcia at 147. So you're telling me this man will fight anyone from 130 to 147 range? That's fucking crazy.
and he got a high knockout ratio. Yeah. The guy he's fighting has a high knockout ratio because it should be a name.
Yeah, so it should be fireworks. I got Pitbull just because I know who Pitbull is, but I kind of will be hoping if Fierro kind of make a name for yourself because Pitbull, I seen how far you can go. I want to see. I had fun.
Yeah, I think Pitbull will get him as long as he doesn't tear his rotator cuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just want a fun fight. Open up the cards. I mean, I guess I'll go Pitbull. I mean, he needs a big performance if he wants to keep his name in the hat of big name fights again. Because, this ain't really one, but we'll see how it goes.
Then I
feel like you did say, though, I feel like they know what they're doing with this matchmaking. So I feel like it is going to be a fun fight, and it could be some back and forth shit.
And then we got the last fight we'll bring up. Jesus Ramos taking Jason Rosario. There's a 160. There's some middleweights here. Jesus Ramos, he was undefeated until he ran into Lubin. Then there was the controversy, unanimous decision, lost to Lubin, where a lot of people felt like he won. So he got the L on his record. After that fight, comes back, gets a 9th round knockout, looking just as good as ever. And because he also didn't take much damage in that Lubin fight. So he was shocked when he lost that fucking decision. Then we got fucking Jason Rosario, who we didn't see much for 2 years. After Brian Mendoza knocked him out, he comes back, gets a draw with Jarrett Hurd, and here we are. In 2022, Brian Mendoza knocked him out. He didn't fight for 2 years. In 2024, he comes back, gets a split draw with Jarrett Hurd, and now he's on this card. In 2022.
I did not expect to hear that name in 2022. And Jarrett Hurd, man, big baby.
And he got a draw with a split draw with Jarrett Hurd. And I'm just Jason Rosario was undefeated, and then all of a sudden he ran into Charlo. Charlo knocked him out. Ran into Lubin. Lubin knocked him out, and ran into Brian Mendoza, who I would put underneath those two guys, kind of in skill level, talent wise. He had a nice run, 2022, 2024, but he gets knocked out by Brian Mendoza. So, like, for me, the way I look at it as far as Jesus Ramos, if you are who you say you are, you're that guy. You shouldn't have lost to Lubin. You better body bag Rosario in this fight.
Oh, he has to, man. Like, come on, the big 2024, you're having a draw with Jarrett Hurd. Big baby Hurd, man. Maybe it was 2019, who knows? But with Ramos, this is gonna, yeah, I think this is gonna be a bounce back performance. You know what I'm saying? After getting his ass kicked by Lubin, talking about how he won the fight, that he didn't. He came back with a pretty solid performance. You know, knockout. So he has to do it again because you know, so this Rosario guy, it's just kind of like, eh. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put you here because you only have 2 losses, so it's still to fight you.
You have any hope for your boy Rosario, Mark?
Nah.
It's gonna get ugly in there.
Man. I mean, I'm gonna hope for a fun fight again. Like I said with the other, just to open up the card, man, get shit popping. I feel like they threw this to open up the shit on purpose. But I'm gonna roll with Jesus, man. You know, show me why you should have beat Lubin. Maybe don't let off your foot off the gas and keep that shit on. And I don't know. I just hope for a good fight for real.
All right. Well, we wrapped up our breakdown of the main card here. We also got Carmel Moulton. He's on the prelim. He's fighting on this card. There's a few other undefeated prospects on this card, so I would just tell everyone tap in from start to finish. This probably, boxing fans are probably gonna hate on this card because it might only do like 300K buys.
Either way, though, boxing's bad, man. I feel like we haven't had like some good cards.
I just know like all the Canelo fanboys, some Tank fanboys, like there's gonna be a whole bunch of those fanboys out there that are like only 300K. Y'all some bums. Yeah. What? Man, only 150K. Y'all ain't shit. But like,
it's 2025. We don't care about the numbers. Give us some good fights.
Just keep feeding us.
Who cares about numbers, man? You know what I'm saying? Since when? You know what I'm saying? Since like maybe like I make fun of the NBA for their low numbers, but still, at the end of the day, it's the product the same. Who cares? The product is the same.
Yeah, this is outside of pay-per-view fight. This is gonna be one of the best cards of the year, top to bottom. They stacked this shit up. I mean, I feel like we're hitting that run of every card we're gonna be talking about. We're all gonna be saying this might be the best card of the year. So we're in the peak of boxing. We'll be back next week with the recap. We'll be back also with the Bivol Petrviev 2 breakdown. So it's just heating up. As always, go down and like, subscribe, comment who y'all got in this banger of a card. I'm Paul Pickle-Winham, Marcus Primetime Panley, Southpaws Run Boxing, Gator, Jamari. And if y'all didn't know, now y'all know, motherfuckers.